You are now listening to the new Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time at BringDownTheBand.com, and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the new Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned into the new Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The entire crew is here, starting off across the table with my man Lonegevity. How are you, sir?
Doing all right. Thank you.
All right.
I forgot to put my No Bad Ideas shirt on.
You did. Still got merch.
Well.
Strategically placed, so it's okay. You're all right. Across the table from me, rocking the, it's expensive, man, Zelda t-shirts, man. My man Jay Moore, they probably run, what you say, Jay Diff, $7,500 all?
$7,500,
Yeah,
man.
expensive t-shirts. My man Jay Moore rocking expensive t-shirts. How are you, sir?
I don't know anything about those prices. I just saw a t-shirt that I thought would shorts and a pair of shoes, and I thought, hey, well, I'll get that.
I can dig it. It's good to see your friends balling. My man DJ Jay Diff to my immediate left. How are you, sir?
Salutations. I'm good, man.
Good.
Yeah, man. You know, good
Hit game strong. Everything ready to roll.
Well, you know, it's Yeezy season.
Okay.
That's what they tell me.
That's what they tell me. Yeezy, I think, is scheduled for the 5th. So maybe we'll get a chance to hear.
I was talking about the shoes. I don't know.
I know where you're
when
going,
the album going to come out.
I know where you're going. Yeah.
He's still running around Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah. You know how that go.
He going to stick that mug up. That's why he wearing the stocking cap over his face.
Oh, my God. Don't even get me started, man.
Lightweight, he's in there just stealing.
Could be.
Stealing Atlanta Falcons merch.
Did y'all see the stat that they said now the room that he's renting is officially the most expensive real estate in the world?
Why?
Because how much he's spending every day to stay in that mug.
Must be nice to have unlimited amounts of money.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Great for him.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Red August on the production as always. We gotta try to get Red August a mic for the pre-show, man. He has a lot of interesting things to say. He's filled in as well for us, so we appreciate you, brother.
Indeed.
Taking care of everything on your side.
Yeah, join our Patreon so we can get a mic for Red August.
yeah.
Patreon.com.
I like what you did there. I like what you did there. Yeah, we could use them. Is donations a bad word? Subscription.
No, you're a patron.
You become a member.
Yeah.
Member. That's membership. That's what I want.
Exclusive.
Sorry. Yeah, exclusive. Sorry.
Donation.
$3. $3 a month to support us.
You're a patron.
Yeah. All right, man. So,
boss.
Let's get to the rundown. So, as always, we've tried to become consistent with the random topic. Before we get to the other 3 topics for the show. So, every once in a while, we get into a good spirited conversation that leads into what we're going to go. Leads into us going live. And today, we were starting to talk about Wu-Tang catalogs. We were talking about Red August made a point about Method Man being one of the main people first, and we started talking about Beneath the Surface versus Liquid Swords, and which album had more heat and all that. So here's my question, because I'm an uncontrolled substance person. Inspector Deck, right? Lone, no, we got on that album around the same time. I want to know from each one of you, what is the most slept on Wu-Tang project from any member in the whole crew? Because I think, personally, in my opinion, Uncontrolled Substance is the most slept on album out of their whole crew, to me. Because I think that album is damn good. Production, bars, top to bottom, that album is really good, in my personal opinion. So, I mean, you could throw out multiples. We don't even have to nail it down to one. You can just throw out a couple. But for me, it's Uncontrolled Substance.
To me, it's absolutely Uncontrolled Substance.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, it's literally dope front to back, and it never gets talked about. I mean, it does within certain circles, but
I like that.
It might. I mean, go listen to it. It's good front to back. Got a Pete Rock joint on there.
Yes, it does, which is fire.
It's got the same beat that Ghost did. Elevation. Elevation on it. But I would probably say, I'm definitely gonna say Uncontrolled Substance too. For most like underrated.
That's my pick, man. That's the first one that jumps out to me. Jay Diff, what you think, man? Just even if you can't narrow it down, man, just give me something that's slept on.
I'll just go with Beneath the Surface.
Oh,
because I mean, people don't talk about that album. Like we were talking pre-show.
Okay.
To me, it's up there with the classic joint from GZA,
Liquid Swords.
Liquid Swords. It's up there to me. And maybe it was, you know, how we tie things to certain times in our lives. And
Yes.
Right.
how that type thing. But even to this day, it still sounds good to me. So
That's tough.
nobody
man.
talks about that album.
No, you're right. They don't.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. Say more.
You know what? It's from one of the members that everyone
Oh man.
focuses on.
Master Killer.
I would, you know,
Capadonna.
hey,
You got perhaps.
you know what? The Master Killer No Set Date was a decent
Be
project.
careful now.
But Method Man's 421 album, it came out after 𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗱, and 𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃 left like a bad taste in people's mouth.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
yeah, the 420 or 421.
I think it's
remember-
421.
Yeah, I remember it
The
had
day
like
after.
a crazy, like kind of
Yeah.
psychedelic, like melted. It was. I loved that
album
record.
cover was like graffiti.
Yeah. I loved that record. I don't know if it was just because of where it was at the time, but I remember going out to buy that album, and I'm like, why is nobody listening? Like people were like, oh, I love Wu-Tang, but nobody's paying any attention to this particular record. And I remember he had a like, because for whatever reason, Lauryn Hill just wasn't letting any sample flips, like, because Kanye couldn't get any, you know.
Oh, he couldn't get all files down.
You know, but Method Man could get his cleared.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so he had that on there. He had even the R&B joints. I was like, all right, this still works.
Yeah.
This still works. And he was still spitting. But I think at that time, like, Ghostface Killer was so in his pocket, you know,
Yeah.
because they were both on Def Jam at the time, because they had, and Ghostface had, you know, Fish Scale and More Fish around that same time.
That was a good
It
time.
was really
man.
close.
Yeah,
That was a good
and
time.
so, like, you know, the focus had kind of shifted, especially on Def Jam, because Ghostface had his Def Jam run was pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
You know, and so I don't think people were paying as much attention to Method Man musically at that time. But here's another one. This is the You Got Golden Arms Redemption.
Oh man,
That album
see, I knew we were doing so well, man.
cool.
We were doing
I'm think I'm
so.
cool.
that
Yeah.
album is not as bad as people, you know, because
man.
everybody just, you know, it's easy to hate on You Got, but Bizarre was one of my favorite records. It was out that year.
The Pillage was better than that.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, like, I listened to the whole project. I was like, this wasn't terrible. Like,
I
y'all
get
Milk
were
this
it.
cow.
I ain't
man.
mad at
the
you,
best
though.
way we know how.
I ain't mad.
Can't milk this
you know,
cow.
shout
Yeah,
to You
milk
Got.
this
What about
cow.
Bobby Digital?
Now, that's
Nobody
a
really
good
talks
album.
about Bobby Digital.
That's a good
Used to be
album.
like-
I don't know if Bobby Digital is. Would y'all consider Bobby Digital slept on?
No.
Not to me.
No?
I
I
would.
thought Bobby Digital got a push, and I thought it did what
Yeah.
it was supposed to do.
I thought.
But nobody talks about it
Over here,
anymore.
fuck with this.
Long like somebody daddy right now.
Let's see what
Fix
this
your
mic-
mic, boy.
Freddie got a finger.
We need to put a mark in there where I just
Yeah,
said fuck.
shout to everybody
So,
who's watching.
Yeah, said it again. Yep.
Twice. Wouldn't say it twice.
No, but
Okay.
Mike said the other word earlier, so you know.
I ain't do nothing.
Yeah, you
Not
said
today.
I said it already.
he said am.
Go ahead, man. Sorry.
We
No,
need to get the official word on that one.
no, I
Yeah.
you know, I remember, what was it, the Rumba? Was that that was
La Rumba, yeah.
that
I
was,
fool with La Rumba.
Is that one?
no, yeah, I remember Bobby Digital. Because I remember like, I was thinking, what is this? Because remember,
No. La Rumba wasn't on Bobby Digital.
It was
though.
on Digital Bullet.
Digital Bullet.
Yeah.
Ah, okay,
On
okay.
Digital Bullet.
You know, an album that gets bad press is the W, and I actually rock with the W
I
album.
rock with most of it.
No, I see. That's where I disagree with
I
y'all
rock
on
with
that.
most
'cause
of it.
The
'Cause the
W
W
had what? Hollow Bones, which I fool with.
Gravel Pit.
The joint
Did
with
it have
Ronald
I Can't Go to
Isley.
Sleep on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, man. The W was.
I think that was cool. It was
let me look-
Iron Flag, the one that you didn't like. I'm pretty
Was it
sure.
Iron Flag?
Yeah, 'cause
Iron
that
Flag
was-
was.
Because
that
I had
was-
Pinky Ring, the one that you
I
liked.
ain't fool.
I think the W was the last good Wu-Tang album that
I-
came out, because after
I
that, I
agree.
think it was
Iron
8
Flag.
Diagrams,
No.
No,
or was it Iron
it was
Flag?
Iron
Iron
Flag.
Flag.
so. We got the W. We got, let's see, Hollow Bones, which I fool with.
Can't Go to Sleep.
Can't Go to Sleep, which I fool with. Gravel Pit.
That was like a bonus track.
I get it.
That was a single.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the
it
lead
was a single.
single.
It's like the last song.
Had
on the album.
𝗏𝗲𝗄 Jones in it. Shout out to 𝗏𝗲𝗄
The
Jones.
joint
Yeah.
with the joint with Nas, Let My Live.
Live.
That joint was hard. The Snoop joint, I don't even remember that, which is crazy.
I don't either, actually.
Redman was on that record, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He had a Red Bull, a song called Red Bull.
I like
and
that
then
one.
the joint with Busta Rhymes. I remember that one, but Other than that, man, like
I thought it was a
It
decent
only had
album.
like 12 songs on it, though.
13 joints.
13.
13 joints.
I thought it was good.
I thought it was the last solid effort from them as a collective.
Iron Flag, though, that's when it starts getting.
You used to text me all the time about Uzi, the
I
pinky
don't know
ring.
why, man. Maybe I was tripping. I don't know.
I always thought, I was like, I mean, if you like it, I mean, it's cool. But you used to argue. You used to argue about that.
I was pro that song, but it ain't aged well for some reason.
Nah.
I was pro that song. I remember that, but it didn't age well.
Because I think it was kind of it was like, because we were really big RZA heads, and it was
God.
very RZA. That beat, that was very RZA. Like first Bobby Digital album, which is, I don't think it's slept on, but that's definitely a good album.
Yeah, and Stereo's
They
dope.
could have turned that into a whole Adult Swim cartoon of some kind.
One of the coldest artworks I've seen, by the way, for artwork for an album. That artwork is fire. Like, I'd love to get that as a poster.
Looked like a blaxploitation movie.
Yeah, that's what they were going for.
You know,
Yeah, that was dope.
RZA had
There we go.
bong bong. RZA had the song on Digital Bullet called "Can't Lose," but on the
BB
CD,
King sample.
but on the back of it, it said "Can't Loose." That was literally on the cover.
There's been a
Can't
lot
lose.
of
Can't lose.
errors as far as spelling and stuff on covers if you actually take a look at them.
Yeah.
If they misspelled the Cardi B's album, whatever it was, like that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And it was actually misspelled on some of the promo items. But they did it. I remember there was a video, Resident Evil Revelation, something on like NOD.
Yeah.
And like they sent out all these video games with spelling errors on the front cover. And it wasn't like, intentionally, like where they put they just spelled the word.
It's probably worth money now if you got one of those copies.
That's kind of what I was thinking. As I was saying that, I was like, I wonder if my version of that is like one of the few ones where they spelled it wrong and maybe they fixed it.
Could be.
Just like if
I don't have it anymore. But
Makes it rare if you still got
if you
it.
have like that first pressing of Doggy Style that has songs, like it has all these songs listed that aren't on the album.
Yeah.
And then it has G's up, down on it.
Good job.
Because sample never got cleared. So like if you have that first pressing, like
I had it on tape, so
I did too.
That
I
mug
did
is
too.
gone.
I just remember I was like, "Where's the song? The next episode? Why is the album ending right now?" Because it's still got 3 more songs. The thing is, like the next episode is kind of like a holy grail of a Dre and Snoop song. Like I have super duper, like remember Real Audio back in the day when it was. I have a super duper Real Audio bootleg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me before we get into the our normal rundown, real quick, and just make this real quick. Better catalog, Ray or Ghost? Long.
Oh, that's tough.
Kind of easy.
I mean, I'm gonna
I
say Ghost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Ghost.
Ghost.
It's got to be Ghost.
They want Ghost.
Ghost for me. Ghost is like in my top 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be Ghost. What am I thinking?
Terry, you said Ghost too.
Yeah, it's got to be Ghost.
You know, Ray.
You got to understand with Raekwon, after his first album, what was it, Immobility? That one was okay.
Sneakers was my joint though. Shout out to my man Carlos.
Everybody got a joint on an album at least.
Don't do it like that, man.
But it wasn't. Yeah.
It wasn't like that.
Nah, he ain't had a run like Ghost did.
Okay.
Like even if you just take Ghost, like I said, his Def Jam run.
Iron Man or Cuban Link?
See, that's a better question.
Cuban Link.
Cuban Link?
I'm gonna still do Cuban Link.
Cuban Link.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it more.
And I love like you talking about Mighty Healthy, Fish, Daytona 500, still slappers, but then
I think
verbal intercourse, ice cream.
I think joints like
Knowledge Gods. You know, come on now.
Fish is tough, man.
Yeah.
It's just one of my favorite Wu-Tang beats ever. It's not even RZA.
Yeah, ever.
So
who you got?
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's tough, right?
No, it is tough.
Because it might depend
I'll say
on
Cuban
when you
Link
ask
just because
me.
I got on a Cuban Link. Let's just do that by default.
But I mean, it's got like
Red August. He's stunning right there, real quick.
It's got Heaven and Hell on it. It's got like the verbal intercourse.
Yeah,
song
Now that's-
on
incarcerated
it.
Scarfaces.
That's
You know,
like
it's got-
Apex.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
Apex
You know what I
RZA
mean?
right there, though. That's like RZA at
I remember
Superpower RZA.
North Star
being-
Jewels. Come on.
That's my favorite.
Listen,
Nas
I remember
verse.
leaving high school, being in my homies. He had a what did he have? Burgundy Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme.
Ooh, clean.
Bumping that Incarcerated Scarface.
Oh man.
Yeah, man, that was a good time.
Come on, Criminology.
Come on.
I like a lot of the B-sides on Cuban Link. Yeah, like the Rain song where the rain's heavy. Like, I just thought it was neat. I don't know.
Rainy Days, yeah.
Yeah.
Bruh.
But I mean,
Daytona 500 though, man. It's like
it's cool. I don't think it's aged as well.
Man.
Yeah, see, I never, to be honest with you, I'm keeping 100. I never really rock with Daytona 500.
I didn't.
like
None?
that.
Dude,
It was just cool.
every once in a while, me and Terry are on this like plane. That I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's just like
I mean, as much as I love 𝐀𝐿, it's not ice cream.
Why you pick 𝐀𝐿, man?
I mean, 𝐀𝐿 like that, if he was trying to, this little Wu-Tang
That's true,
outreach to
though.
the ladies, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with ice cream, but ice cream
ice
still,
cream's on that album too, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
man,
not even
y'all-
close.
It's not even close.
And the thing is, Iron Man is an incredible record, but it's just
Iron
not
Man
even
is fire.
You know what though? If you would have said Supreme Clientele versus Cuban Links,
Oh,
Okay.
now we got to have a
got-
conversation.
Okay.
I
okay.
might go Supreme Clientele.
Okay,
Because
okay.
that front to back, I can play that front
you
to back.
can't. You can play that without skipping anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I should have went that route because
I don't think. No, I think it's good. But
No, because
Cuban
that was
Link-
both their debut.
yeah,
Cuban Link and Iron Man, man, that's top tier hip hop right there, man. The RZA was in his bag.
And the
back
thing is,
then.
the thing about Cuban Link too is even though it's a Ray album,
Yeah,
it's really a Ray and Ghost album.
facts,
Yeah.
You know,
facts.
I wonder why they never actually just did that. Because I think that's kind of what ended up happening with
Redman.
Redman and
Redman,
Meth.
yeah.
They did a couple songs together. And they're like, shit, we sound good together. We might as
Yeah.
well just make an album.
I mean, you don't count not Wu Block, but Wu Massacre.
Oh man,
Well, there was 3 of them on there.
the Wu Chronicles,
Well, yeah, Wu
Lone
yeah.
loves Wu Chronicles.
Above the Clouds with Premier and Guru and Spectre Deck was on
Yeah, hey.
2, I think, and the joint with the what with Biggie and
Mm-hmm.
I think but that was on something else too, wasn't it?
The what was on
On what's call it?
Biggie's album.
Yeah,
Ready
first
to,
album.
but then when they put out the
They
Wu
put it out.
Chronicles, it
It was
was
on there too.
Oh.
yeah.
Lone
That's
love.
when you could buy those compilations and
Lone
just,
loves anything that's like
has Wu.
B C level Wu. Like he loved like
No, I don't.
Killer Army and
Don't
Let's not
The
put them out.
As
Swarm.
much as I
and-
talk about Killer Army,
do not put Wu Gambino's
the
on
first
there.
album that
Hey,
Killer Army
Metropolis was hard,
dropped
though.
was okay. Like it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't Wu.
I'm a Gravediggers person myself,
That's different.
Yeah.
Now was-
but that don't really count.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
What was
I'm
the group
Gravediggers.
that I never listened to him, but what was the group with Prince Paul and RZA and them? Was that Grave?
That's
That was
Grave
Gravediggers.
I
Yeah.
never
To
like
pick
ventured
the
into
sick
that.
It was
Sword,
horrorcore.
that album is hard.
Pretty much.
Well-
It started the horrorcore movement.
Yeah.
And then they started something and then left it alone.
Yeah, because
One-
remember there was this other group I remember on Def Jam called the Flatliners.
Yeah, I remember them too.
We had some
Terrible.
horrorcore artists from Anderson, and I never quite understood what was going on.
Yeah, I'm cool. But look up "Dangerous Minds" by the Gravediggers. That's one of RZA's best
By
verses
Coolio.
ever.
That's crazy.
I knew he was gonna say that. And on that note, because I'm not about to do this,
That's nuts.
let's go ahead and
They literally
into the
started
one
a genre and then left it alone
Yeah,
after
left it
one
alone.
album.
I knew he was gonna say. All right, man.
Was that the movie or was that the song?
What? Man?
Dangerous Minds.
There was
You're thinking
there
of
was a movie.
Gangsta's
It was a movie.
Paradise.
You're thinking
Yeah.
about Gangsta's Paradise.
But that was
Yeah,
Yeah, I hated that.
He
song.
won a Grammy off that song.
You did.
I knew what you was about to say.
Yeah.
And my boy that
You seen how I fixed my mouth.
my boy that was singing the hook was sweating so bad in the video, man. Like
Price sweating
with
now.
that choir robe on.
Shout to LV. Not
LV.
really, but
Yup,
shout
that's
to
what it was.
LV.
Yeah, LV.
It was hot.
I'm surprised Stevie let him sing that.
Man,
This is the thing is
they
Stevie,
didn't have Stevie in the budget though. I
no,
should've-
Stevie liked the thing is if Stevie likes the song, because Stevie got to like the song to clear the sample.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Stevie didn't the original sample on Me and My off of Ready to Die had a Minnie Riperton sample, and it was a song that Stevie wrote. And
Stevie ain't going.
Stevie was like, "No, it's too much cussing in there."
Yeah,
Talking about Stevie Wonder.
yeah.
Yes. And like I
I don't
remember
know, I
him
don't know.
performing "Gangsta's Paradise," like I don't know, maybe one in the last days of Arsenio.
Yeah.
With Coolio and LV, and I was like, all right, I guess he really, but he probably got a nice check off that too.
Hey,
He probably
hey,
did.
producers out there, I'm just telling you, you work with an artist that is extremely huge artist, try to sample Stevie. Get about your publishing, fam. I'm just gonna tell you right now because
Or you need to be like Travis Scott and actually put him on the song.
yeah, it's gonna be one or two
I
options.
mean, Busta did
'cause
that.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
It's like featuring Stevie Wonder.
And he had Rick James on that album. That
And
album was
Rick
cold,
James,
by the
yep.
way.
I liked it.
All right, man. Let's get into the rundown. So I don't know. Well, everybody's at least. I don't know if they've been following this, but DaBaby's been in the news a lot.
Has he?
You don't say.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. So
Different baby. Yeah.
That's Lil Baby.
Red
That's
August,
Lil
get your
Baby.
Red August, get your people, man. I know I said it a lot, but get your people.
My bad. I don't.
He-
I didn't know there was.
Red August, get your people, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wah, like the baby is Lil Baby.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a lot of baby. Like you heard what T-Pain said. Now
Be more creative.
Lil Baby actually tight though.
I like Lil Baby.
On to the baby though.
I like Lil Baby. All right, so DaBaby has been in the news for some crazy comments that he said at his show. Right? We talked about it post show last week.
Right.
Um,
But then it
He's-
just got worse.
he's doubled, tripled down, and he just recently had a. I'm not gonna say his team wrote up a very eloquent apology that was put out. Right, so he's apologizing because I counted 3 festivals. There's a Days in Vegas festival that he was dropped from, Lollapalooza, and then the Governor's Ball Music Festival. Took a L on all 3 since his comments. And this is as he was doubling down and just being like, I said what I said. Now they've written everything
I
and
said it already.
I said it already. And now they've written the apology and everything, so we'll see how that goes from there. But here's here's my question. As it relates to these hip hop artists, right? And the concept of the idea of cancel culture. With DaBaby and him losing out on, my count is 3. There may have been more, there may have been endorsements, I'm not sure. What do y'all think about that? Like based off his comments, him immediately being pulled from festivals and possibly having partnerships and merch and I don't know, clothing lines or whatever being compromised based off things that he said at a show, at a performance. Like his cancel culture as it relates to the artists, the hip hop artists in particular, is it starting to get out of hand? Do you guys feel like that is justified? Where are we at with that? Lone, I'll come to you first. Like with him.
It's a learning experience.
Okay. All right.
You do dumb things gonna happen. It's like stupid is as stupid does. Like better. At the end of the day,
No, he doesn't.
I don't think he knew.
let me
any better at the
rephrase
time.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should know better,
You should know better.
and you should have people around you that should be able to advise you to not do dumb things like that. If you're in the eyes of the public, there's certain things you just don't say, regardless of however you feel about them. Otherwise, you're gonna get docked.
Mhm.
And so,
Docking your pay.
I don't know if he's necessarily going to lose money from these festivals because I don't know what his contract looks like.
Nor do I.
He probably
So-
already got the deposits.
He probably already got the deposit of everything. So,
Non-refundable.
but
Yep.
Talk to him.
it does affect him in the future, right?
Yeah.
And it does affect brand deals in the future and, how everything moves. So that's where I'm at on it. I feel like he should have known better,
It
as
just
an artist.
depends. It depends. I think.
What you think?
I mean, cancel culture is the end thing to do nowadays. For one,
I agree.
we've seen so many artists get canceled. Kanye got canceled for telling a handicapped man to stand up that was in a wheelchair. He didn't know he was in a wheelchair, so he got canceled for a little while.
Well, he's got canceled for 19 other things
Yeah,
too.
that was just one example.
I see what
So-
you did
Chris
there.
Brown has been canceled how many times?
He been
Yeah,
canceled.
his concert is still going to sell out. This thing with DaBaby is just so interesting because ignorance isn't always bliss, and to me, it just sounded like a rant. He didn't know what to say, so he just said anything, and that rant landed him in hot water. But a lot of these festivals are fake anyway because the only reason they're taking him off the lineup is because they're worried about what somebody else has to say.
That's what I was going. That's what I was
Very
looking
true.
for. That's what I was looking for.
I see a lot of comments as far as people saying, well, people can rap about killing people and doing this, doing that, and the third. And then as soon as you say this, then that's when we want to cancel you.
Is there truth
And
to that?
honestly, it's living proof. It is.
Okay. All right.
It's okay for you to get up here and entertain us about killing people and stuff like that. But if you say these specific words in this specific order, then
These
we're
specific people.
canceling you.
Yeah.
And I do find a fault with that, because if we're going to hold somebody accountable for that, we need to hold somebody accountable for the other as well. And with hip hop being the most prominent and most popular music source nowadays, and for the casual listener to just be able to listen to it and move on about their lives and later just say, well, you know, that was just a thing I was doing. There's a lot of people whose lives are not just hip hop, but these stories that people are telling in hip hop are their lives, essentially. So it's not your entertainment for you to be like, I was appeased for a while I was in college and now I moved on for that. Y'all are just as guilty. You feel me?
But what about this, Terry? What about like where's the line between saying something that is derogatory and hateful or somebody sharing their life? Like if you're sharing something that's going on in your life and it involves like violence and killing and stuff, that's one thing, right? But where's the line to where somebody says something that is like derogatory and hateful and kind of intentional versus you see the balance there? Like one's like telling a story and the other one is like just like
I think it's a slippery slope, because you have certain people that absolutely aren't part of that life. They're just making up these stories. So it's almost like exploitation. I'm going to exploit this type of lifestyle, but if you mention this type of lifestyle, then it's a problem. Yeah. There's a problem on both ends of the spectrum. It's kind of like when we talk about the 12 deadly sins. All those sins have the exact same equation.
There's 7 of them, aren't there?
Well, 7.
Yeah.
They probably upped it to 12 now.
Probably. There's so many.
I was just trying to make sure I'm talking about the same thing.
I'm thinking I'm crossing 2 different things.
Yeah. I know what you're doing.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Red August giggle.
But with the sins, you know, that they try to put one sin over the other. When in all actuality, they're all linear.
Right.
So, and this is one of those same type situations, in my personal opinion, where that's linear. But I can see how people can say that it's not, but in the same time, I can see how it's the same thing.
I guess I don't fully understand that.
But what you said though, okay, there is gray area there. I don't know, because take perception into account too. It's like how people view one versus the other. Like maybe everybody doesn't view the quote unquote I'm telling my life stories like that.
Or I'll put it to you like this. The reason why I brought that up is because these festivals are making money off these artists. Yeah. So you're making money off me coming here rapping about this stuff. Right. But when I talk about this, just because somebody said something and it grew a following and now cancel culture came into play, now you're terminating my agreement. To me, that's fake.
No, very much so.
I got a question for you, and then I don't want to. Go right back to what you're saying, but I have a question for you as it relates to this. How do you feel about how should the apology be received? Should that be looked at once the apology comes out after I've messed up? Should that be taken sincerely and then we move forward? Because I feel like when the apology comes out, it's like the apology is never good enough. It's like I need you to really like cry or do a video about it, or like it's never, the surface apology to me is never sufficient based off how this goes. Like, do you?
No, that's the thing. They don't want an apology. They want you gone. Okay. Because the thing is, like, that's why some people are like, why are you out here like, remember the whole thing with Kevin Hart? They brought up some tweets he had from 10 years ago, right? And he said, I'm not going to apologize. I already addressed this, and he decided to apologize anyway. And it's not like they let him host the Oscars. Now, mind you, he bounced back from that. Kevin Hart is fine. You know, I see him on the Olympic coverage with Snoop. It is what it is. But a lot of times, these people, you know, my thing is, do you want the baby to be better, or do you want him gone? Because I just think a lot of people are so invested in getting people out of here. They don't care if they get better or they learn anything or not. Now, also, this is kind of wild for me, because when I first heard it, I didn't see what the problem was. Partially because I've been around hip hop for so long that when I hear what he said about the, you know, if you don't have, you know, so and so. In a concert atmosphere. When I hear that,
I was in the same boat. I remember I kept asking.
I hear. If you glad to be alive and you all right,
and then even when he said the thing about what he said about a certain sort of behavior,
right?
I heard, and if you're not compromising yourself in a certain way, you go ahead and put your hands in it. Because I've been first of all, we talked about it pre-show last week. When you start listening to lyrics of hip hop,
oh yeah,
if you were to break it down in its most literal form, it's either very homophobic or embracing the homosexual lifestyle. And the example I gave was DMX's "Party Up." If you listen to the first verse of that song, and I'll let everyone who's listening do their own research because I can't go into it, because we got a radio situation that we have to maintain.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, either that is extremely homophobic or it's embracing of the homosexual lifestyle.
Right.
And so when I heard it, now what messed it up.
We know what it is though.
Yeah.
Is because I don't think, and this is also a thing, because I've had experience myself with this where sometimes it's not about your intention. Mm-hmm. It's about people's perception.
There it is.
Because one time I said something on the microphone, because that's how I get money out here.
Jay Moore after 12.
Exactly. And it was after I was
love
like,
Jay Moore after 12.
And I was like, hey, all you do standing around dancing with your homeboys when the slow songs come on, you doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And it was some, one of
So
our.
if he had said that at Lollapalooza, that could have been taken a certain way.
Exactly.
100%.
And
100%.
and like,
I think it's different.
But at the same time, when I said it, somebody from the queer community, and like I've gotten that cleared. I thought saying queer was something wrong.
As did I.
And
I
so
didn't know that.
when because look, I ain't gonna lie. I have a friend, a colleague who is transgender, and I said, look, I hate to be asked your transgender friend, but I got some questions and I need it cleared up.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm out here saying things that are wrong,
you want to know,
or doing things that are wrong,
you want to know.
I want to know.
100%.
Because I don't understand, and I'll be honest, I still think some of this is funny.
But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that, though. To me, like wanting clarity to understand.
And
like,
so
I don't.
But and so like when I had the conversation, I had to say, well, what is this, and what's going on here? Because I didn't want anyone to. First of all, I was more interested in being better, and the person who I was talking to wasn't just interested in me getting out of here. So I think that's a lot of this. Like we're just. And then here comes like the queen of the white gays we don't Madonna. Well, you don't care really. Nobody's thought about you for a while. Like this is not your fight to take on.
She needs somebody else to kiss.
And she came about the blue though.
Yeah.
She came out of nowhere.
And so
with I
had and see what really made this is what, because we probably would have moved on if DaBaby didn't try to clean it up in his own way without talking to his team, because he said, "Oh no, I'm not talking about the classy gays who are my fans." And I'm like, fam,
the cleanup effort was not it. That wasn't it.
Once again,
he needs a better PR team.
100%.
First of all, you were involved.
He was trying to be his own PR team.
Yeah, you were involving yourself in queer business that you don't understand, and you're making it worse.
100%.
Because I always say sometimes the best PR for you to do is to shut up.
Don't smear the poop in the stall.
Like this is taking it a whole nother
really,
place. But remember when it was a whole bunch of stories about Usher and what was going on with him, and he didn't say nothing, and it just went away, and now he's got a Vegas residency.
And he kept on performing Let It Burn.
Y'all said he was at the concert and it never came up.
He kept on performing Let It Burn.
There is, you always have the option to say nothing.
So here's my question. Was he wrong?
Was who wrong? DaBaby?
I'll be honest. What he initially said. Once again, it's not a.
Let me reframe.
No, I don't think he was wrong.
Let me reframe.
His cleanup made it so much worse.
It could have been.
Let me reframe this question.
I'm with that.
Let me reframe it. Knowing that we are old heads here, and knowing that,
new old head.
Yeah, we still new,
right? But understand the old way of hip hop thinking that you brought up, even about DMX and what we're just accustomed to accept.
Yes.
Yeah, and what we're accustomed to accept.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How much does that go into not being offended or upset at what DaBaby does because
it goes?
Of that?
You talking about based off
understand that
us being a certain
no, based upon what he said, and okay,
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So like if we have a little bit of bias because we're used to this, because we listen to hip hop and we're used to this in hip hop. Hip hop is very misogynistic. It's very anti-gay. Period.
Violence also.
Right. Well, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But how much of that, of our bias, goes into that, of us not being
Offended by-
bothered by
Yeah.
what DaBaby says
Go-
in general?
Go ahead.
As
Jay Diff.
opposed to us, like what he, like really addressing, like, okay, maybe what he said was wrong, and maybe we should potentially not do that stuff in the future.
Go ahead, Terry.
I can see that our sensitivity filter probably isn't as heightened as others are. But I also see how that could have been spun in a positive way to promote safe sex too.
Really though?
Kinda.
You know what? It once again not about your intention, but your perception. Someone could have seen it as that.
Perception is everything.
But this
It
is the thing, and I'll really play
Devil's advocate.
white devil's advocate here.
Oh, is that different from Devil's Advocate?
Yeah, as far not really in
Which
my
one's
eyes.
worse?
Look, don't get me started. Don't-
Okay, I'll leave it alone.
Shout out to our sponsors.
Yes.
No,
There's so much hate in the room.
no,
August
because
giggled
the
on that
thing
one.
is, and this could be in a way. This is another way you could look at it. DaBaby has expressed a level of ignorance across the board
Okay.
to so many people.
Yeah.
Why are we surprised or upset when it all of a sudden hits, our community, our friends in the LGBTQIA? I'm sorry if I missed a
Plus.
letter. Plus.
Plus.
Because this is the thing for those of you in that community. I always thought the what we wanted to do is make sure that you're treated equally,
Yes.
not treated special. See, the thing is, if we take DaBaby out because he said something ignorant about you, when he says something ignorant about everybody, we're not treating you equally. We're treating you special.
That's tough.
And see, the thing is, there'll be real pushback against that may not be in the actual, when everyone's fighting to become equal and have the rights that they are supposed to have just
Sure.
by being born and being human and being American. I think that's where some of the pushback comes from.
Okay.
Like we want everybody to be equal, but all of a sudden, if you're DaBaby, you got to treat these people special.
That's fair.
That once again, I'm playing white devil's advocate.
Yeah, you're. I mean,
no, you on it though. That's fair.
I see
That's
what
fair.
you're saying. I mean, it's
That's fair.
You've heard all these things he had to say about women. He's literally
And you're
associated
singing
with
the
Tory.
lyrics.
Yeah,
You're
with his
singing the
associate with
lyrics, too.
Tory Lanez and him bringing him out. Like basically, this dude shot a girl in the foot. And we didn't, allegedly, sprinkle allegedly.
Yeah,
on it.
air quotes that.
But that's not getting him kicked off.
Right.
The wild stuff he said about, remember, DaBaby is a murderer.
Yeah, baby done killed some
Yeah,
people.
he rhymes
Not
about
some.
that, and we didn't take him off of anything. He's being able to say sort of ignorant stuff about, disrespecting women
Yeah.
and killing.
I will really,
people that
I
look
will
like
really
the
do that.
people
He,
here.
he can literally rhyme in his rhyme. I'll really do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he did. He
But
did it.
then and maybe the problem was there was no beat under what he said. Had he said these same things and there was a beat playing, maybe he'd have been okay. But
The,
because
the fact that there wasn't a beat,
that might have
to
been
your
what got him
point,
into trouble.
it opens it up. It opened it up, man. Like it opened it all the way up to be dissected. Because it's not
did
a part
they
of
even
the song.
flash
it's
on
not
the
a part of
crowd to
record.
see what the reaction was from the people in the crowd?
this
You can hear the audio though.
Look, I'll tell you what.
I
right
heard
now,
the audio, but I'm saying I want to see what the reaction of the people in the crowd was.
okay.
Remember, I'll tell you right now. Remember, I'm in the club all weekend long. DaBaby's music still played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is something that outside forces, like I said, Madonna doesn't dictate what happens.
They ain't playing
In the
Madonna
club.
in the club.
At all.
So the culture, like I'm just keep it real. The culture still rocks with DaBaby. It's all these people in these ivory towers who have decided they don't want to be like. Because the thing is, if you keep him on, then someone can say that you're anti-gay, and you don't want the stink of being anti-gay on your
And
festival.
all of that trickles down.
But
Yeah,
you
all
know
that
what?
trickles
You
down.
might the people who you've replaced him with might still have some of that stuff in their music, but it's in their music.
Yeah, it's just in the
let's
music.
that is a distinct difference too.
Yeah.
Saying it out loud. I mean, you made a good point. Saying it out loud in a setting that isn't a musical creative
Yep.
way,
Yep.
it is interpreted in a different way. If DaBaby's just out here talking about doing expletive things left and right, then I think, yeah, but you make good points.
I think everybody made good points on this.
I don't think that was a white devil's advocate though. I think that was more.
I just wanted to say white devil's
Yeah, that
advocate.
sounded dope though. It sounded dope. I ain't gonna lie, it sounded dope.
Yeah, I mean,
Red August giggled. Yeah, it sounded good.
I feel like I held down the role of white devil's advocate pretty well.
Yeah, you
yeah,
did all
you
right.
do. You gotta start counting Red August giggles. When he giggle, he usually goes. It's
Yeah,
good.
well.
Let's let's shout out the partners real quick. And then we'll get into
While we have them.
yeah, well, and then we'll get
We
into
love y'all.
yeah, we do, and we'll get into the second half of the program here. We'd like to thank our partners for the New Old Heads podcast: No Bad Ideas Clothing Company, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, Sun King Brewery, and the hub for all things New Old Heads, BringingDownTheBand.com. Remember, once you type Bringing Down the Band in the search bar on YouTube and the page populates, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And as always, we thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
Hey.
All right. Shout out to our partners as always. We appreciate them. Appreciate the support.
Come on down.
Come on down. So we really appreciate them. All right. So I'm trying to do be like Belichick and be good with clock management.
Stop trying, just do it.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to. I was gonna say something. Never mind.
If you know better, you do better.
100%. All right. So let's take a look at now. I'm not familiar with this young lady, but I do know Duke Deuce. That's my guy. I think it's Des Dior. If I said that right, if I said it wrong, I'm sorry. But these Des Dior and Duke Deuce both made tweets complaining about pains or symptoms of COVID-19. They both performed at Lollapalooza. I'm not Lollapalooza, but
Rolling Loud.
Rolling Loud. Thank you. Sorry about that. Rolling Loud. And a while back we talked about, in the midst of COVID, when we were all doing our, I'm talking about the Zoom days up until, whatever, about the effect of the artists performing and once things start to trend a certain direction, how many artists are going to come out and perform and, what the climate will be like. Because it was so uncertain at that point. We didn't really know. Now we're starting to see, get sample sizes of how this goes as people start to perform again in huge crowds. We talked about Lollapalooza in Chicago. Grant Park was completely full from what I saw.
Yep.
And seeing these artists post this on Twitter about their symptoms and everything. What is the effect of this? Is there going to be a positive
Nothing.
effect? You say nothing. Nobody's going to pay attention or stop for it.
This is not the only time. I mean, literally, I honestly. And I understand why we need to talk about this, but
right.
Does it affect you?
What you saying, Jay Diff?
Man,
I mean, that's a question.
Don't do that.
I mean, does it?
Don't do that.
This is
Don't do that.
At this point, we're beating a dead horse because all we're doing is giving another example and another example and another example and another example of this being a real thing. Like, this is not smoke and mirrors, folks.
All right, hold on. Let me play.
It's for real out here.
I'm coming right back to you. Here's why I'm saying this.
Mm-hmm.
If we've seen it on we haven't seen it on this big of a scale. These performances are huge, and it's still people coming back being like,
well,
"Yeah, man."
That's
like
the thing. The pandemic technically is not over.
It never ended.
No.
Yeah, it never ended. So
I could dig it.
People being in shock and amazed at what's going on now almost amazes me because everybody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, whether it be getting vaccinated or wearing a mask. You should be doing one or the other, and people aren't doing that, or you should be doing both. This shit, sorry about that, but it's not going anywhere. I'm a little passionate about it. People are losing their lives. People are still getting sick. I understand people want to have fun, but in the same time, you need to have fun responsibly. And you need to think about not only you need to think about your family, you need to think about your friends, all of that, because it's real out here in the streets, and these numbers are going up as far as new cases and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And the percentages of people that are getting it versus being vaccinated and not vaccinated is the proof in the pudding. And I've been seeing a lot of stats that state that, well, people that are vaccinated are getting it more. That's not true. People need to do more education. And to be educated, you need to not find the source that aligns with what you think. You need to go a little bit deeper and continue that research until you find the one that makes the most sense. Because you sticking and staying on that hill of your personal opinion is not doing anything
And just listen to
but
the
getting
experts.
us further down.
Listen to the experts.
We're probably about to be locked down again because everybody thinks they know everything.
We
And
talk about
unfortunately,
misinformation a lot.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We talk about that a lot. And, you know, as friends, I think we have to hold ourselves accountable, but each other accountable as well. Like I say it all the time. There's been multiple times where Terry will pull me to the side if I posted something in error or just out of, you know, going down the rabbit hole of seeing stuff that's posted everywhere and been like, nah, man, that ain't it. Like, pull that down. Like, I've had people say that before, and I appreciate that because sometimes you see certain things, man, and people will take it and run with it and put it out there like it's the truth. And then you're misinforming so many people based off somebody that just woke up and posted something, created something.
A lot of people make this a political thing too, and it's not.
Yeah, and that's sad.
You know?
This is the least political thing that we should be talking about right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, I have a certain understanding about why people have an apprehension about getting it. You know, because I get that. We've talked about that on the show before.
Yeah.
You know, because like, look, you know, I've never seen a time where the United States government was trying so hard to do something that would benefit specifically black people.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And I understand that. Now for, you know, the white people who aren't getting it, I don't know what's on your brain because they've always held you down.
Talk to them.
You know, I mean, but that's
them.
where where it's gotten political to even though, you know, all this approvals and all this warp speed happened under Donald Trump. There are people who, like, the redder it is where you live, the least the least vaccinated people are, and it's crazy. You know, because they're like, oh, I'm just going to wait. Like, I saw this minister. He was like, nobody can wear a mask in my church.
What?
And I'm not getting the vaccine, and the vaccine is not of the Lord. And like,
he said nobody can wear a mask.
Yeah, it was a real snake handler.
That's
but
tough.
All the while being
government
pumped full of
conspiracy.
vaccines.
You know, but at the same time,
Talk to him.
like, you know, there are people, you know, because the NFL season's starting up, and it's like,
they about to get them fines.
Yeah, and
What's my boy name from the
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley, yeah.
You know, but it's like, look, man, and I always say this when people ask me about the vaccine, the fact that I got vaccinated literally is the day I could get vaccinated.
I remember.
Is they gave it to rich people first. I'm going to say that over and over. They gave it to rich people first. And so, like, and you know, everybody talks about, population control. I was like, look, population control has to deal with if you just let people die. You know, they wouldn't be trying to save people's lives if they were interested in population control. And plus, since we don't make anything, we don't live in a product-based society anymore. We need people to have these subscriptions and have these services. That's the only way these major corporations are able to keep their coffers full. So, like, when you think about it like that, once again, that's a rabbit hole we're not going to do right now.
Yeah.
But I'm just, as far as these artists who are complaining, I was like, look, man, you know, you wanted to get back out here.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I can't lie. As someone who works in the service industry, I wanted to get back out
There
here.
you go.
But at the same time, like, I'm still in a place where, you know, there's an artist that I'd like to see that's coming to, you know, to Indianapolis. But I don't go anywhere with a large amount of people if they don't have a check for me. And they don't have a check for me for this particular event. So I'm not going.
Oh, I mean, and
I'm vaccinated, but I'm not going because I can't trust y'all.
Makes sense to me. Lone, what you think, man?
About what?
Just the artist, man.
We need to use that as a sound.
I know, right?
I mean, like, I don't, you know, at this point, you know, I think everybody in this room was probably skeptical about vaccination.
Definitely.
Yes.
And almost all of us have gotten it.
Definitely.
You know,
definitely.
So
Almost.
But
Be careful now.
But
We on the radio.
Yeah.
No, don't do it.
Tell me to be careful.
Don't do it.
it's, you know, you kind of, it's the human condition. It's just the arrogance of people. You know, the Lollapaloozas, the Rolling Louds, you know, people want to get back out there. You know, people are,
and I get it.
People need it. I get it. I do. But it's like, it's so selfish. It's like so selfish. And I get it. You know, I really do understand both sides of the argument of the things, but what I will say as I turn my phone off, sorry about that.
It's all good.
Is that it's like the data's there, man. Like the data's there. It's looking at us in the face. We should trust experts. I can't say anything that you guys haven't already said. You
Look,
know, it's
I understand that everyone doesn't know doctors, doesn't know a doctor personally. Like I'm very blessed in that way that I know people who, you know, went to college, got their master's degree, then went on to medical school, went through the clinicals, went through the all the who.
I
And
know
so
one person.
I am lucky to where I know doctors, and I don't think every one of these people is in some grand conspiracy to where they're like, let's make sure we lie to Jay Moore so he can tell all of his lower class people on his podcast or whatever.
Yo,
like,
wait,
you know
wait,
what I'm
wait,
saying?
wait.
No, I'm just
Hold on.
I'm just saying, like, you know, because people will go there with
Wait,
the
wait, wait,
no,
wait.
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying because there are people who will go there with the conspiracy, be like, yeah, those doctors just told you that because you have a platform in hip hop and they know you're talking to black people and this, that, and the third. There's a whole mindset to where people feel like, oh, you're just a tool if you're telling people to protect themselves with this vaccine.
You know,
Well,
it's funny that you say that because I know people that are doctors. I know people that are nurses. And it's funny because the responses from both of them are kind of different. Some of the nurses are like, well, I'm not taking that. Whereas the people that are the doctors and the higher ups, like, I'm absolutely taking
100%.
They
that.
took it immediately.
Yeah, they took it
As soon as they
and
could
they're
get it.
saying that you should probably before they even started this whole, we should start wearing a mask in, even though you're vaccinated.
Vaccinated, yep.
My doctor friend actually told us that y'all should probably start wearing your mask again because this is what's going on.
Mhm.
Whereas the people that are just the nurses that kind of these surface level things are saying, well, I'm only getting it whenever they make me.
I don't know.
It's funny how that.
I've never seen any nurse. I've
It depends.
only
Well, I
seen
know
Well, I
nurses
also
that get it too, but I
have a
know
friend who's a
some
nurse who's
that are.
gotten it twice. So she's like, yeah, definitely get the vaccine.
I know nurses that have gotten it, and I know some that are like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's a weird dichotomy in itself, to where you're working directly in a hospital,
yeah.
and not to say you're low level hospital worker, but the people
different.
that are
It's different.
the people that are like really in there fighting for these people's lives or advocating for you to get it.
I think what we're articulating the most is just that there's such a lack of trust in everything.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to believe anything, and nobody wants to believe the experts or anything, but you kind of have to, because you can't be an expert at everything.
There are a lot of people in this country that just think that the smart people are trying to ruin their fun.
Yeah. Why would all the smart people and the people in these positions get this vaccine if it was that bad? Because literally, if that was the case, then we would be losing all the people that are pretty much
all the doctors.
masterminding
Yeah,
everything.
we wouldn't have any doctors.
That
left.
doesn't make any sense to me. But
Now there is one, like, I know there's some people who said I can't get it just because, you know, they've seen, like, I remember I was a little sick for, like, not sick, but like I wasn't on top of my game for a couple of days.
Yeah, I remember.
And there are
I
people
remember.
and there are people who are like, I can't afford to not be on my game for a couple of days. I said, yeah, but you can't really afford to be on a ventilator for a couple of months.
yeah,
Talk
that's
to 'em.
not cool. And to where your lungs are pretty much scarred for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I still have effects from it. So and they're minor, but I told you guys before the show, it's annoying.
Yeah.
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 Well, they're literally saying that people who are getting the bad cases of COVID are literally laying there saying, I wish I had got the vaccine.
look, I have a friend who is a voracious reader and has a problem because of the
A
brain fog.
voracious reader.
Is having a problem being able to read
Mm.
because of the brain fog. Like, it affects people in so many different ways that I want no parts of.
Let's this is a good conversation, by the way, but I want to make sure we get this last topic in before we get out of here. Good points by everybody, by the way. So Billboard had a list of the top producers of the 21st century, and the Neptunes were listed as the greatest hip hop producer. They came in second. I don't
Let's
know.
correct that.
That.
I don't like how they pigeonholed the Neptunes as the greatest hip hop
Hip-hop.
producers.
You don't like that?
Mm-mm.
Talk to me. Yeah.
I mean,
Does it
They gave-
expand beyond it?
They
Yeah.
gave Britney Spears heat.
come on,
Yeah.
man. They've literally spearheaded Justin Timberlake's career,
This is true.
his solo career.
This is true.
I mean,
His
Eclipse,
first single.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because I guess they're probably looking at it like, okay, their roots are embedded in hip hop,
Right.
but
I
to
think
his
the
point,
only
though,
reason
they
I
have-
say that,
they
the
are
reason
very
why I say
versatile.
that is because honestly, I take it a certain way when people, I feel like they're always putting hip hop in air quotes.
okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like they don't really want to give them their true props as being musicians.
Like hip hop's not as valuable. so I'm
Exactly.
not gonna
That's
say
kind of
it,
how I'm
or
taking
I'm
it.
gonna, yeah.
Okay.
I'm putting the Neptunes as one of the greatest producer team duos in the history of music. Period.
Because they've done everything.
I'm not
Yes.
mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I never thought about it like that. That's a good point.
And you look at their chart positions, it is way beyond just hip hop.
Yeah.
and they're
And it's
responsible.
coming from Billboard magazine. That's
should
another
know better.
reason why I'm saying that. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with classifying someone as the best hip hop this or best hip hop that.
Right.
It's just that, in my personal opinion, the Neptunes are so much more than you boxing them into hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, I agree.
And I think, but I think on the list,
I mean, it's kind of shocking when I saw that. I was like, the Neptunes is hip hop. I was like, everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know who was number one on the list, but they were the highest ranking. They came in second, but they were the highest ranking hip hop.
But see,
producers in
that's the
21st
thing. They'll put
21st
them
century.
on that, but then when they start talking about the best producers ever,
Yeah.
they'll have them at like 20,
Yeah,
25,
they won't even be
30.
listed.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I can dig that. I think if you think about it, they've really had hit records since
There hasn't been a year that has gone
That's what I'm
by
talking
since
about.
they came out that they didn't have a hit record.
that's where I was going.
Are
Yeah.
they still doing stuff together though and releasing it as the Neptunes? Because
Not like they used to. I'll look it up, but I
'Cause
don't.
I mean-
Well, even Pharrell as a solo act.
I mean, definitely Pharrell, but
Yeah.
like I don't know if I've
As it
seen
relates
the
to
Neptunes.
Chad?
Yeah, with Chad
When
Hugo.
it says the Neptunes,
Yeah, I
instead of
haven't
just
seen
Pharrell.
the Neptunes probably since the 2000s.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure Chad has had something to do with some stuff, and
Probably.
he's just not one that wants the public attention.
I think he's that guy. I don't think he wants. Pharrell is an artist in his own right. Like, he sing on all the hooks, put albums out, all that type of stuff. So
I mean, if you categorize Pharrell as part of the Neptunes, I can see that.
right.
But and don't get me wrong, that the Neptunes were extremely strong in the 2000s, even if I haven't heard of them in a decade.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
So I'm looking at the Neptunes on Wikipedia as it relates to their production discography.
mhm.
And 2021 has Moneybagg Yo, Pop Smoke's album Faith. That's Pop Smoke's album.
Brent Fayez, Wasting Time, that's a hit. I don't know if y'all are hip to that.
Yeah. Snow Allegra.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Come on.
They got.
Um,
She got.
And these are listed under the Neptunes.
This is yeah. So
And then 2020, you got Meg Thee Stallion, Who's You
SZA hit different with Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then Pharrell's joint with Jay-Z, Entrepreneur. So these are all listed under the Neptunes. Now,
just
again,
as a
like,
production team more so than like what they were doing as the Neptunes.
I would venture to say if you look at Pharrell, like if I pull up Pharrell's production discography, it's going to be different from what we just read as them as the Neptunes, right? Because he does so many things on his own. But to Lone's point, we were talking about we were talking about the 2000s and everything. That actually shocks me that 21 they got joints like that. Not shocks
So
me
now
from
you're
a talent standpoint, but just the fact that, to his point,
So you're talking about now if they got if they got joints out now,
right?
and they were doing stuff when Bad Boy was at their for Total
Yep.
and Mace. So now you're talking about 4 decades.
Facts.
of
I mean,
hits.
Pharrell was working with
And
Teddy Riley.
if we
Yeah.
talk about
Thank
Teddy
you.
Riley,
Yes, you talk about
Pumps in
Rump
the-
Shaker.
yeah, Rump Shaker.
And when Boy Meets Girl off of the first Total record, and then Looking at Me off of the first Mace record.
Hey.
You know what's
These were singles.
And then when we talking about Nori,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nori's
He
super
laced
thug.
Nori.
So come on.
Think about it though. 2019.
I don't know if I would have heard or listened to Nora if it wasn't for the singles.
Oh, he definitely owes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he owe Pharrell a nice
That's why he
handshake.
can-
Nah,
That's
it
why he can
really
drink
is really because
every weekend.
Capone got locked up. That album would not have existed if Capone hadn't went to jail.
That's a fact. If you look at 2019, on the flip side for Pharrell's production, you got joints on Solange's album When I Get Home, 2 Chainz, Anderson .Paak, Beck, Even Madonna's album. This is
And
2019.
Beck wins a Grammy every time he drops.
I swear.
Beck is dope.
But
Yeah.
there's a gap between, in terms of Pharrell producing, it goes from 2019 and it jumps to 2021 with a Robin Thicke record. So maybe, you know, those records that we saw, they were doing a lot of Neptune stuff.
Yeah.
But I like what you said though, Terry. Like, they're definitely beyond. You can't pigeonhole those guys.
Look, we
as
just
hip-hop.
brought up Beck. Is Beck hip hop?
Beck,
Not at all.
And so when you're going from Beck to Britney Spears to
Madonna.
even going back to when NSYNC was
To
still
Loon.
together, to exactly.
I hate.
I mean, you just got to keep it.
Freaking Lindsay Lohan,
I hate
Christina Aguilera, Robin
Omarion.
Thicke.
And then you get to talk,
I hate him.
And then when you get into
Red
the
August.
remixes, come on,
Shakira.
I hate him. Red August.
Khaleesi's whole catalog.
Come on, that
Dead
Kaleidoscope album was hidden.
Yeah,
True.
Deadmau even. That's crazy.
yeah. So
Monica featuring Wow Wow Wow.
Stop,
Little
man.
Baby.
Lil Baby and DaBaby are
Oh
different.
my god.
I know this is featuring Monica featuring Lil Baby.
Read
Trenches.
the other ones, man.
Wah,
Stop.
wah, wah. So Lil Baby is the Wah 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 one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
I'm
god.
learning, man.
yeah,
I don't
Listen,
listen, I don't
man.
listen to babies.
Listen, man. At the end of the day, shout out to the Neptunes, man.
yeah. Don't just say
Madonna
hip hop.
even.
Nah,
Yeah,
no,
don't
they've
don't
done
do them like
too
that.
much for too many people for you
Yeah.
to just say hip hop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
All
gotta
right.
give them producers of the decade at this point.
producers are.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to
Well,
talk,
I
you want
mean-
to talk about producers for the first 20 years of the
Man.
2000s.
Yeah.
Man.
You know what? Why not? Let's give it to them.
If they in there. If they not the one, they definitely in there.
I mean, I would argue Pharrell over
Pharrell?
the Neptunes, but I get it.
they kind of.
They intertwine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Pharrell's been way more out there than
It's just we know, like,
Kendrick's stuff,
Yeah.
you know, like All Right and
Mhm.
you
you
know.
know, we don't, you know, because we don't know Chad. Chad is not a.
He talented.
He doesn't seek the spotlight in the same
Yeah.
way.
I'm sure
Right.
we see his name in the credits though.
Yep.
Because he's
100%.
gonna get that check. I don't care who
Oh
you are.
no! Oh no! He's
Yeah.
going to get that check.
Yeah, he eating regardless.
All right, man. So that I like that, man. Terry, you steered that in the right direction, bro. Don't disrespect.
Change
Don't disrespect the Neptunes. I'm 100% with that.
Don't do it.
All right, man. That's gonna do it for this episode. Make sure you follow us on the New Old Heads Network on YouTube. Subscribe. Please hit the bell for notifications. Follow us on. Well, you'll find us on TikTok at Major7 at Lonegevity. Jay Moore is on there. Red August is on there.
At New Old Heads.
At
Yeah.
New Old Heads, so pretty much you'll see us
You'll see
tagged
us.
everywhere.
You know the vibes.
Yeah. So make
I'm
sure
on
you
there
follow-
talking crazy about Eminem, so come join.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, yes.
It almost went. No, it did go viral, low key. Make sure you go to New Old Heads. Patreon / New Old Heads as well. Check out those options that we have to get a membership with that. And we really appreciate the support as always. And for Jay Moore's friends in poverty, we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
In a minute.
Yeah.